The wide seaward land to the west of the Blue Mountains is the Elven realm of Lindon. The land of Lindon comprises of For Lindon and Harlindon, the coastlands to the north and south of the Gulf of Lune. It once included land to the east of the arid Lewin, but today the Tower Hills represent its most eastern borders. Player characters who create Elves of Lindon would hail from somewhere within this realm. These fair folk of Eriador have dwelt in the Westlands since before the drowning of Beleriand. They are all members of the Firstborn, displaying a wisdom beyond the reach of mortal men. More and more leave Middle-earth sailing west on the grey ships, never to return. Those that still remain live mostly along the western coasts, where once were found great kingdoms of their kindreds. All elves are endowed with tremendous vitality and great vigor. They are not subject to illness or age, and thus can dwell within the circles of the world until they choose to leave it or are slain. Elves leave their homes at any time after they reach adulthood. Adventurers older than 300 years are rare, as in time all elves find the sea longing that lies deep within their hearts to become irresistible. In battle, most elves carry bows and spears, but many wield swords too. But by ancient tradition, some still favor the axe. All player heroes who are Elves of Lindon, by virtue of their birthright, are capable of reaching levels of finesse unattainable by mere mortals. If a player hero that's an Elf of Lindon is not miserable, they can spend 1 point of hope to achieve a magical success on a roll when using a skill in which you possess at least 1 rank. Being of the firstborn lineage, elves find it hard to forget the taint of the Chateau of Morgoth, even once it has left its mark on their spirit. When it is time to remove accumulated shadow during the fellowship phase, they can only remove a maximum of 1 point. Elves tend to live in harmony with the natural world, and although they have lived a long time and are great craftsmen and have found insurmountable wealth themselves, they tend not to hold it dear like a dwarf or men. Therefore, Elves of Lindon start off with a standard of living of frugal. Elves of Lindon are strong of body and of mind, but their long memories of a distant time and their longing for the shores of Valinor weighs heavy on their hearts, and thus don't have the hope of heart like some of the other free folk of Eriador. Elves sing the greatest of songs that can even soothe the weariest of hearts. Their long lives have granted them the ability to accumulate vast amounts of knowledge and lore, of history, of people, and of the land of Middle-earth. Fair, keen-eyed, lordly, merry, patient, subtle, swift, and wary. These are all words to describe the Elves of Lindon by those who have the fortunate opportunity to meet them. All elves speak their own fair tongue, the Sindarin speech. But when conversing with other free peoples of Middle-earth, they are apt to use the common speech. Amras, Calanhir, Galdor, Bernil, Elwig, Moriel. These are but a few examples for the names of elves in the Sindarin language. Elves and magic are synonymous with most inhabitants of the Middle-earth. The word magic itself invokes images of their grace, the products of their craft, and their unearthly beauty. Unlike the other cultures of Middle-earth, elves can see into the wraith world, be they spirits or ghosts, even when they are normally invisible to the eyes of the living. Elves of Lindon have learned to strengthen their hearts, and thus all shadow tests due to dread are favored, and additionally gain 1d on those rolls forced upon you by an evil spirit or ghost, including creatures possessed by one. The elves' ability to use and wield the bow is only matched by those of the bardings, as elves possess a natural talent for hitting the mark when using their bows. When using a bow, but not a great bow, and fighting in a rearward stance, an Elf of Lindon may attempt the prepared shot combat task as a secondary action. The name of Elbereth, the Queen of the Stars, is revered by all the Eldar still dwelling in Middle-earth. You have restored to calling on her name in moments of great need, asking the Kindler to bestow her grace upon you. Elves of Lindon who choose this cultural virtue can raise their maximum hope rating by 1, and during the adventuring phase, you can become inspired on a number of rolls equal to your wisdom rating. Some elves do not need sleep, as their spirit is so strong that their bodies recover swiftly from many ills and injuries. If a player hero of Lindon chooses the Elvish Dreams cultural virtue, they don't need to sleep, as long as they can engage in simple, repetitive activities. When you take a short rest, you are considered to have had a prolonged rest instead. The Elves of Lindon have seen many defeats and many fruitless victories in their wars against the Shadow. The deadly rage that your kindred harbor for the enemy infuses their weapons with a gleam of chill flame. Player heroes who choose Gleam of Wrath, when on a successful attack roll, their adversary additionally loses 1 point of hate or resolve, plus 1 point for each success icon rolled. Long centuries and uncounted generations of men seem but a little while to the elves. Their memories go back to a time before Eriador became desolate, and their knowledge of the land is returning to you now that you are traveling again outside the boundaries of the realm of Lindon. Player heroes with the memory of ancient days of cultural virtue, when they are the target of a journey event while in a wild land, roll on the journey events table as if you were in a borderland instead. In addition to the chosen roll during a journey, an Elf of Lindon can also cover the scout roll within the company. This is a heroic culture spotlight on the Elves of Lindon culture for the One Ring Roleplaying Game. Our next spotlight will take us to Bree and the men that inhabit it. If you liked this video, please comment, share, hit that subscribe button, and the little bell icon to let you know when a new video has dropped on the channel. I'm Ryan of the North, and thank you for watching.